Alright, so finally, last night I ended up finishing out the final base SMG in the game, the PP Bison. The only weapons that I have left to go over in the game, as far as base weapons go anyway. I believe that there are like 12 total DLC weapons so far. DLC as in like the weapons that get added later than just the release base weapons. All the melee weapons in the game done, including the secondary. Riot shield done, all the sniper rifles done, marksman rifles done, all but the R90 shotgun, all of the SMGs, and I still have to do most of the ARs. But besides just doing all of the ARs, it's nothing but just like a bunch of little random, obscure little things. And also at this point, the only challenges that I have left here are sniper rifle challenges and Warzone challenges. Oh, and I guess a couple challenges with LMGs or something. So I've swapped over to the LMGs now that I finished the final base SMG for the Bison. Organic circuitry. Purple Rain. Kind of looks like Purple Tiger, though. It's pretty cool. So that's the only thing that was added today. I don't know if there was some sort of balancing patch or if there's one gonna drop today. Currently, it's only like 3 o'clock, so I don't know if anything's gonna come later. But by the time you guys are seeing it, I'm gonna assume there was probably no patch. If there was, though, on some like big buff or nerf or something, I'll definitely try out a new weapon tomorrow. Why not? A lot of people have been asking me to go back to sniping and stuff. I just need to finish out all of this stuff, and then I can definitely snipe. I'm gonna have to start sniping at least a little bit just in order to finish a lot of these challenges. So if it starts getting close to the end of the season, I'll make sure. But yesterday, I hardly even made that much progress. I made just enough to be able to finish out that Bison, and I was good and everything. But most of the day, we spent trying to clean Ari. Ari is like a hypoallergenic, so a lot of her fur will get matted if you leave it. And she ended up getting this one mat on her leg. Like, it was just like a singular thing that was sitting there. And she, I guess, spent a good amount of time like licking at it, trying to mess around with it. Just like how, you know, any random kid would do. You know, I was always yelled at by my grandparents and teachers and other people like that whenever I would go and, like, pick at my scabs or other stuff like that. I mean, the LMGs aren't bad, so it's not going to be very difficult to actually complete these, and the challenges aren't so crazy. I think it's only like 125 kills or something like that per one for it, so it's at least it's not 200. It might actually be higher than that, but at least it's not 200 like all of the ARs are. So we spent all yesterday like trying to clean up her leg and shave her down and all this other stuff. I wish you could store more than 1 kill streak in your pocket. Not the 3 different kill streaks, but I already had a cluster strike before I even slid in there, and now I got another one, but I can only call 1 in. I wish that we could overlap on this game. Then again, people would probably end up leaving the game if we ended up being able to actually lap our streaks. Not have the streaks count towards each other, just lap. Like if I have a cluster strike for like, you know, whatever amount of kill streak, but I don't use it, and then I get another kill streak to unlock another one, I should have 2 of them. The one shouldn't overwrite my other one. I should be able to just call in 2 clusters. Doing cranked and stuff with these LMGs is definitely super easy. Feels way better than trying to run around with it since, you know, the LMGs are generally really slow, especially in multiplayer. LMGs definitely get used a lot more in Warzone and stuff, the slower weapons, the different builds and all that stuff. By the way, this is a class setup that I'm using at the moment. I can't guarantee it's the best or whatever, but that's just what I'm using. Now, the monolithic suppressor on there, don't need it, but I just like being off of the radar. I hate the fact that with how slow a lot of reloading and stuff is, I want the entire map to know exactly where I am, but I also don't want to end up trying to bring as much attention as possible to myself to where I can't even defend myself just trying to reload. I don't know, the monolithic suppressor just always seems to bide you some time. Not an insane amount of time, but definitely enough. So I have these 2 heavy things on here on already a slow LMG, but then I put the snatch grip on there that gives us some of the recoil control, which is nice. I don't want to use the commando foregrip because it lowers my movement speed and it's already abysmally low. I didn't want to go with the Merc foregrip because it slows down our ADS speed and I didn't want to do that, so I picked, you know, the only thing that would be able to speed up our ADS speed, the snatch grip. So take these 2 heavy things, use the snatch grip to kind of lower that penalty, then use attack laser to add it even more, and then on top of that, the no stock, because the coil isn't bad on this thing, it's just not, especially with the snatch grip and everything. So you got 2 things that extend your damage range here and slow it down even more on top of being an LMG, but then you have 3 different attachments on there that speed it up and make it a bit more formidable as like an AR, not like this big sit in the back, you know, LMG kind of deal. So that's what I'm running currently. There's no real perfect build or whatever. I know a lot of people like to sit around and min-max their classes, but ultimately, if you can't shoot straight, it literally doesn't matter. I already got a PKM master thing. thing. It would have been nice to have this system in the game from the very start, or at least from the point that Obsidian was in the game, so I would likely have a lot more emblems. You know, the past few years, the last couple of years, I always went for that, you know, master camo, chrome and dark matter, even though that went south. Or Grasna raid. I got shoot house one time in 10v10. Come up behind this guy. Did it. I would have just ran up behind him and beat him with the sticks, but maybe that scared him enough to actually start moving. I doubt it, though. He might have just went back to the same exact spot, and he's just extra wary. That lunge! I gotta see that in third person. Hold on. I know that the sticks have like double the range of the knife, but what's funny is it surprises me so much, but that used to be like the default range for knifing. It's like 1.5 meters for the knife as far as the range goes, and it's like 3 meters for the sticks. I feel like Commando was like 5 meters, maybe even more. I mean, if you go back and look at some videos, there are people knifing literally from the bottom of favela to the top through 3 different maps. So I sat around for hours yesterday, and then we fastened this cone out of it, so now we just got her leg all fixed up and everything. She just kept like going at this one spot on her leg from the mat or whatever, so got that cleaned up, and now we got like the cone of shame on her head so she can't mess with it or whatever. I mean, honestly, I might have forgotten how to snipe altogether. Honestly, it almost feels impossible to forget how to snipe necessarily, but once I get back to sniping, like once this is all done, right, what sniper rifle do I even use? What is considered the best sniper rifle? You know what I mean? Like for multiplayer in general, right? But also, do I continue using the AX50? Do I just like try to use the MK2 a bunch more or whatever? I know that's kind of frowned upon. The car ends up getting a ton of hit markers. I don't know how I'll handle that, but alright, well, you guys got every single corner held down. That's nice for you guys. Enjoy your game. Hope you get a whole lot of XP. Oh, I don't want to play. Dude, I know that Superstore is considered like the landing spot on Warzone, right? I cannot be the only person in the world that wholeheartedly feels and believes that Superstore is absolute. It feels bad, it looks bad, it sounds bad, it smells bad. It is bad. Like, let's be honest, if there wasn't nearly as much loot sitting on the ground for all the people in Warzone to pick up in Superstore, then no one would come to this piece of shit lot. It's gonna be more deserted than an early 2000s Acme parking lot. Superstore is absolutely terrible in multiplayer and in Warzone. Only reason anyone wants to go there is because of all the items on the ground. That's it. The layout's terrible. The way that it looks, terrible. The employees, terrible. Customer service, terrible. I actually got back on the Mortal Kombat last night for literally 2 games. I didn't realize this, but my PC version of the game where I'm playing like any of the public matches, the record on there still stays the same. For whatever reason, I'm like 24-0 or 25-0 on that account. Clearly cherry picking or something. I have no idea how I even got to that point, but I'm not trying to gloat. I was surprised and kind of hurt by myself that I would manage to actually have this kind of record when I decided to just queue up a couple games for a warm-up. I managed to still keep the O and everything, but I almost lost. So in the final second, I landed this just clean. Obviously not like a high-level combo or anything, but it's actually insane how much your muscle memory actually matters in this scenario. Like, you truly do not ever forget. I was getting shot from 3 different angles from 3 different people mounting on 3 different surfaces. It's actually terrible. I don't want to play anymore. I'm quitting the desktop. Goodbye.